The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Thelrax collapsed to his knees, his forearms trembling. Behind him, representatives from 700 civilizations watched in stunned horror as their proud leader performed the ultimate act of submission before the human delegation. "Please," Thelrax whispered, his translator struggling to convey the depth of his desperation. "We were wrong. We were so terribly wrong." Captain Sarah Chen stood motionless, her face an unreadable mask. Beside her, Admiral Marcus Webb kept his hands clasped behind his back, his jaw tight. Neither human spoke. It had been 3 years since the Council made their decision. 3 years since they deemed humanity too dangerous, too unpredictable, too violent to exist alongside the enlightened species of the galaxy. The vote had been unanimous. Quarantine Earth, let the humans destroy themselves as they inevitably would and preserve the peace. They had been so certain. The Council had watched humanity's history with disgust. The endless wars, the genocides, the atomic fire that nearly consumed their homeworld. What the Council failed to understand was that humanity had survived all of it. They had looked into the abyss of their own extinction and pulled themselves back again and again. But the Council didn't care about survival. They cared about order. The quarantine field went up around Earth's solar system 3 months after the vote. Impenetrable, inescapable. Humanity's desperate transmissions went unanswered. Their plea for dialogue fell on deaf ears. The galaxy moved on, comfortable in their righteousness. Then the Devourers came. They emerged from dark space like a nightmare, made manifest a hive intelligence that consumed everything organic in its path. Worlds fell in days. The Council's fleets, designed for peacekeeping and exploration, shattered like glass against the Devourer swarms. Within 6 months, 40% of Council space had been consumed. Trillions died. The survivors fled before the endless tide, praying to gods both old and new for deliverance that never came. That's when the Council remembered the monsters they'd locked away. Thelrax had been the one to propose it. A desperate plan born of absolute terror. Lower the quarantine field. Beg the humans for help. Offer them anything, everything. Just make the Devourers stop. The vote passed within minutes. But when the field came down, the Council found something they hadn't expected. Earth wasn't a smoldering ruin. The humans hadn't destroyed themselves. Instead, they'd thrived. In 3 years of isolation, humanity had united under a single banner. They'd poured their considerable capacity for violence into a new purpose, preparation. They'd seen the barrier as a challenge, not a prison. While the Council slept peacefully, believing themselves enlightened and safe, humanity had been building. Building weapons, building ships, building an armada unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. "We detected the Devourers 18 months ago." Captain Chen finally spoke, her voice cutting through the silence like a blade. "We watched them consume your worlds. We received every distress call, every desperate transmission, every prayer for help." Thelrax's eyes widened with hope. "Then you know." "We know that you left us to die," Admiral Webb interrupted, his voice ice cold. "We know that while we screamed for mercy, you silenced our calls. We know that you deemed us unworthy of existence." The chamber erupted in panicked voices. Representatives shouted over one another, some begging, others weeping openly. The proud civilizations of the galaxy had been reduced to terrified children. Chen raised her hand and silence returned instantly. That simple gesture spoke volumes about the power dynamic that had shifted. "We're not like you," Chen continued. "We don't abandon people to die because they're inconvenient. We don't turn our backs on those who need help, even when they've turned their backs on us." She tapped her wrist console and a holographic display materialized above the Council floor. It showed humanity's fleet, thousands of warships, each one bristling with weapons designed through years of simulated warfare against every possible threat. "We've been ready for 2 months, Webb said. Our fleets have been positioned at strategic points throughout your territory. We've analyzed the Devourers' tactics, identified their weaknesses, and developed countermeasures." Thelrax's voice cracked. Then why did you wait? Why didn't you come sooner? Sarah Chen's expression softened, but only slightly. Because you needed to understand. You needed to feel what we felt. The helplessness, the abandonment, the terror of facing extinction alone. You needed to learn that mercy isn't weakness, and that compassion isn't the absence of strength. She paused, letting her words sink in. The galaxy prayed for mercy, Chen said quietly. And humanity heard those prayers. We're answering them, now not because you deserve it, but because it's who we are. We save people, even the ones who threw us away. Admiral Webb stepped forward. Our fleets engage the Devourers in 6 hours. We'll push them back, we'll protect your worlds, and we'll win this war. But understand this, when it's over, things change. No more council that treats entire species as disposable. No more enlightened civilizations that lack the strength to defend the innocent. The age of passive peace is over, Chen added. Humanity will stand as the galaxy's shield, but will never again stand alone. You'll learn to fight. You'll learn to defend yourselves and others. And you'll learn that true civilization isn't measured by how peaceful you are in times of safety, but by how brave you are when others need saving. Thelrax bowed his head, tears streaming down his face. We understand. Thank you. Thank you. As the human delegation turned to leave, preparing to lead the greatest military campaign the galaxy had ever seen, Captain Chen paused at the chamber doors. One more thing, she called back. When this is over, humanity will accept your apology. We'll forgive you, work with you, and build a better galaxy together. Because that's what humans do. We believe in second chances. Her eyes hardened. But we never forget. And we never, ever abandon our own again. The doors closed behind them, leaving the council in stunned silence. Outside, humanity's fleets began their jump to the front lines, an answer to prayers delivered by the very monsters the galaxy had feared. The Devourers would soon learn what the council had forgotten. Humanity wasn't dangerous because they were violent. They were dangerous because they knew when to be merciful, and when mercy ended and justice began. And nothing in the universe was more terrifying than a human who'd finally decided enough was enough.